Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will be reviewing the Harry Potter book series. Why? Because all the books in this series are really awesome. Hello, it's me Tanishka, back with another video. Today we will be reviewing the Harry Potter book series. Why? Because the books are just awesome. The Harry Potter book series is a 7-novel series written by author J.K. Rowling. The 7 novels of this series are Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in order of publication. So I hope you all have packed your trunks and grabbed your New Year's school supplies at Diagon Alley, because now we are going on a truly magical adventure. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is the first book in the series of 7 books. In the Philosopher's Stone, an orphan boy named Harry, whose parents were murdered at the hands of a dark wizard called Lord Voldemort, gets accepted into the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He proves himself to be an excellent flyer at a flying lesson, and thus his headmistress, Professor McGonagall, admits him to the Gryffindor Quidditch team, where he plays the position of the Seeker. Harry makes new friends at Hogwarts, including Ronald Weasley and Hermione Granger. Together, they hear rumors about a mysterious valuable object hidden in their school. They soon find out that it is a Philosopher's Stone, and it is the only one in existence that was created by a wizard called Nicholas Flamel. Harry, Ron and Hermione know that someone is definitely after the stone, and they go to save it. Will they be successful in their attempts? I recommend you to read the book to find out. The second book in the series is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The cover art for this book is very pretty. In this book, a house elf called Dobby stops Harry from attending Hogwarts and steals the platform barrier between platform 9 and platform 10, thus forcing him and his best pal Ron to take the Weasleys flying Ford and Gelia to Hogwarts. And they crash into the Whomping Willow, a very ferocious tree, while doing so, thus earning them detention. While in detention, Harry hears strange noises that nobody hears. Why does he hear such noises? And why only him? In order to find out the answer to that question, Harry and Ron, along with the help of Hermione, brew the Polyjuice Potion, a forbidden potion that allows you to turn into others and turn into Crabbe and Goyle and investigate Draco Malfoy, their fellow Slytherin, who is in the same year as them. They did not get much valuable information from Malfoy. Moreover, more and more Muggle-born students were getting attacked by the ferocious beast that was living within the walls of the Hogwarts castle. What could it be? Harry and Ron both found a diary which belonged to Tom Marvolo Riddle. The diary contained information, but the information wasn't clear to any of them, so they kept it safe. After Ron's sister Ginny was dragged into the secret chamber, Harry and Ron went to save her. They used various different means of finding out what was the creature inside, and due to Hermione's help, they found out that it was a basilisk. They, along with Professor Gilderoy Lockhart, went and Harry killed the basilisk and brought back Ginny. Turns out the diary which belonged to Tom Marvolo Riddle was possessing Ginny, and Harry destroyed it once and for all so that no Muggle-borns may ever be attacked at Hogwarts again. Harry's story continues in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, in which Harry blows up his Aunt Marge. Upon doing so, he takes the night bus and heads to the Leaky Cauldron, where he hears strange rumors about an escaped mass murderer named Sirius Black, and that he wants to hunt down Harry and kill him. While Harry is going to school aboard the Hogwarts Express, a creepy-looking creature called the Dementor makes the place cold and unhappy. However, Harry's new defense against the dark arts professor, Professor Remus John Lupin, helps him out by giving him and his friends a bunch of chocolates. Upon returning back to Hogwarts, Harry realizes that the safety measures have tightened, which disables him to go and meet his pal Hagrid. Students in their third year of magical education are required to sign a form that enables them to go to the magical village of Hogsmeade. However, Harry did not have his form signed by his uncle Vernon nor by his aunt Petunia, so he had to stay back. However, Harry was given a map called the Marauders Map by Fred and George Weasley, Ron's twin brothers, on Christmas. So he used that map to sneak into Hogsmeade and throw snowballs at Malfoy. But he only throws snowballs in the movie. He throws mud at him in the book. Harry's classes are not going that well. Their new Care of Magical Creatures professor, Hagrid, had brought a new creature called Buckbeak, a hippogriff, to the class. However, it had bitten and seriously injured Draco Malfoy, because of which Hagrid needed to take his classes more carefully, and that Buckbeak was sent to a trial, upon which he will be executed. Harry, Ron and Hermione were frustrated and were trying to help Hagrid in every single way possible. Harry had opted a new subject called divination. His divination professor was Professor Trelawney. Professor Trelawney loved to predict the deaths of students, and she saw the Grim in Harry's cup in his first divination class, signifying an early death to Harry. Harry was upset. Hermione is getting frustrated as well. She's continuously picking fights with Ron because his rat Scabbers was getting attacked by her cat Crookshanks, or so it seemed. Hermione also had more stress as she had taken all the subjects and she had to go to 2 classes at the same time, which Harry and Ron thought was impossible. When Harry takes a sneak inside Hogsmeade, using the help of the Marauders Map and shielding himself from the stares of others using the invisibility cloak he got as a gift during his first year at Hogwarts, Harry overhears a conversation between Professor McGonagall, Professor Hagrid, Madame Rosmerta, and Professor Flitwick regarding Sirius Black and his father. They were saying that Sirius Black and his father, James Potter, were really good friends, and that Sirius Black was a very cheerful and very nice guy, and that he wouldn't dare kill anyone. During Harry's divination exam, Harry heard a prophecy being made by Professor Trelawney. She said that the Dark Lord, or Lord Voldemort, will rise again, stronger and more powerful than ever the following year. Is her prophecy true? Let's read on to find out. After the exam, Harry, Ron and Hermione go to visit Hagrid. It turns out Buckbeak was facing execution that day, so they wanted to go and comfort him and see Buckbeak for the last time. When at Hagrid's hut, Hermione finds Ron's rat Scabbers, who had been gone missing, inside Hagrid's milk jug. He's struggling to get back to Ron. He doesn't want to get back to Ron, and his whiskers and his skin are all white. He's very nervous. Also, when they leave Hagrid's hut, they hear a thud of an axe. Buckbeak has been killed. While they were going back to the castle, a strange black dog pulls them down the Whomping Willow and also down a secret tunnel which leads them to the Shrieking Shack. The Shrieking Shack is said to be a haunted house in the village of Hogsmeade, where the most violent of the spirits live. While in the Shrieking Shack, they find out that the black dog was an animagus. He was Sirius Black's animagus form. Also, the rat which Ron was owning as Scabbers was also an unregistered animagus known as Peter Pettigrew. They also learned that their new teacher, Defense Against the Dark Arts professor Remus John Lupin, is a werewolf, and he often goes to the Shrieking Shack with his friends to find comfort there, so that he won't harm any other people. They go back to the castle. Harry, Ron and Hermione find themselves in the hospital wing, and Professor Dumbledore arrives. He tells Hermione to use her time turner, with which she's attending all her classes on time, to go save more than one innocent life that night. Before the execution, they untie Buckbeak and then save him until they return out of the Whomping Willow. Then they fly on top of Buckbeak and go to save Sirius, who is locked in Professor Flitwick's office. Then Sirius rides on Buckbeak to a cave which is at the end of Hogsmeade. He is safe, and so are they. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is the fourth book in the series. In this book, Harry continually gets nightmares about Voldemort and his servants helping him to rise to power. The Quidditch World Cup was going to be held that year. Harry, along with his friends, go attend the cup. Ireland wins because it was an Ireland versus Bulgaria match. And also at the campsite, someone had fired the Dark Mark, which was Lord Voldemort's sign. Could this mean Professor Trelawney was right and that Voldemort was coming back? This is creepy. At Hogwarts, Harry gets a new defense against the Dark Arts teacher. His name is Professor Alastair Mad-Eye Moody, and he's called so because he has one mad eye, aka mismatched eyes. Also, he keeps on getting new defense against the Dark Arts teachers every year. Why? Because as Hagrid said, the position is cursed. Anyways, the Triwizard Tournament was gonna be held that year. The Triwizard Tournament is a tournament which consists of 3 tasks and 3 delegations from 3 of the most prestigious wizarding schools in Europe were gonna be selected by an impartial judge on the Halloween to compete in the championship. The 3 wizarding schools were Beauxbatons in France, Drumstang in Bulgaria, and Hogwarts, which is in Britain. The delegations from the other wizarding schools arrive one day before Halloween. They submit their names. The delegations were chosen on Halloween by the impartial judge known as the Goblet of Fire. The delegations who were chosen were Victor Crumb from Drumstang, Fleur Delacour from Beauxbatons, and Cedric Diggory from Hogwarts. However, a 4th championship had entered the competition from an unnamed school known as Harry Potter. Harry was forced to take part in the championship. Now, who must have put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire? After all, only students who are above 16 years of age were allowed to compete. And in this book, Harry was only 14. Who must it be? The competition involved 3 dangerous tasks. The first one was to retrieve a golden egg from a dragon, and that is what you can see on the cover. The second one was to open the egg and find out the clue. The clue was to go inside the Black Lake and retrieve your hostage from the Mer People. The third task was to go in a maze filled with magical creatures and retrieve the Triwizard Cup from the heart of the maze. Now, loads of things could be going wrong during this competition, especially the third task, which was of the maze. Harry and Cedric Diggory, the other Hogwarts champion, reached the Triwizard Cup at the same time, but they didn't know that the cup was a portkey. The portkey directly transported them to a graveyard where Lord Voldemort was waiting to reborn. Also, his servant Peter Pettigrew brutally murdered Cedric Diggory, which was kind of sad really, because Cedric was a kind, caring boy from Hufflepuff, the house of loyal people. Harry and Voldemort duelled and duelled and duelled until Priori Incarnatium happened. That means both of their wands share a same core, phoenix feather, taken from the same phoenix, Fawkes, which was Dumbledore's phoenix. When both of their wands met, they created a spear, in which they could hear phoenix song. Also, Harry could see the shadows of dead people, such as Cedric and his parents, that gave him advice. Cedric told him to take his bodies back to his parents, and so Harry took Cedric's body, grabbed the portkey, and went back to Hogwarts. Voldemort was reborn. A Upon returning to Hogwarts, Harry finds out that the teacher, who was Mad-Eye Moody, was not Mad-Eye Moody at all. It was Barty Crouch Jr., a Death Eater or a Voldemort supporter pretending to be Mad-Eye Moody under Polyjuice Coercion, which we talked about earlier. The real Mad-Eye Moody was imprisoned in his trunk for 10 months. And that was kind of sad because the real Mad-Eye was obviously better than the old Mad-Eye. Under Veritasium, or the Truth Portion, which Snape gave Barty Crouch Jr., Barty Crouch Jr. told Dumbledore, Snape, Professor McGonagall, and Harry about how he escaped from Azkaban, the wizard prison, and also how his father saved him, and also how he helped the Death Eaters. When Harry is taken to the hospital wing, he overhears a conversation between the headmaster Dumbledore and Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic. And yes, they do have a Minister of Magic. The minister is wanting to deny the return of Lord Voldemort when Dumbledore is suggesting methods of protecting the wizarding community from Voldemort. But Cornelius Fudge just wants to deny that Voldemort has come back. In Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is the 5th installment of the series and also the longest book with 800 pages. Don't worry, I finished reading 800 pages in 1 week. Please comment down below how many weeks did you take to read the book if you've read the book. Also, let me tell you a summary of the book. In the course of the story, Harry keeps on getting weird nightmares about a corridor in the Ministry of Magic. Also, while at the Dursleys, some Dementors come and attack him and Dudley while they're under a bridge. Harry conjures a Patronus to defend him and Dudley against them. Also, he is breached by underage magic because underage people, or people who are not above 18 years old, are not allowed to do magic in front of muggles. But Harry did it, which is why he had to go to a trial by the Ministry of Magic, and he was cleared of all charges. He was happy and he returned back to Grimmauld Place, which was the home place of the Order of the Phoenix, a secret organization which helped to fight against Voldemort, and it was also Sirius Black's family home. So Harry returned there and found out good news that his friends Ron and Hermione had become Gryffindor House prefects. When at Hogwarts this year, Harry gets a new defense against the Dark Arts teacher. Again! Her name is Dolores Jane Umbridge, and she is a Ministry of Magic teacher. And mind you, she is horrible. She loves the color pink and loves to torture other people, and she was the only person other than Lord Voldemort who gave Harry a permanent scar. She made him write "I must not tell lies" with his own blood and also carved the same words in his skin because he was telling her that Lord Voldemort had come back when she was just not accepting it. I mean, if it's the truth, why not accept it? And why are you telling people who are telling truth that they're telling lies? Harry, Ron and Hermione were super fed up that Umbridge was teaching them nothing other than theoretical defense, and theoretical defense would get them nowhere in the light of Voldemort and the fact that they had their ordinary wizarding levels that year. So they formed a secret association called the Dumbledore's Army, which had its first meeting in the Hogshead pub, which was situated in the Hogsmeade village. And if you're wondering how Harry went to Hogsmeade in his 3rd year, at the end of his 3rd year, Harry's godfather, Sirius Black, sent a permission form to Dumbledore and Dumbledore accepted it, which is why Harry got to go to Hogsmeade. Harry taught the Dumbledore's Army various different magical charms, including the Patronus charm, Expecto Patronum, the disarming spell, Expelliarmus, and various others, until they were discovered. They had chosen the Room of Requirement as a spot, which was told to Harry by Dobby. Dobby was a house elf, and Harry had freed him during his 2nd year of schooling in the Chamber of Secrets by giving him a sock. Previously, he was a servant of the Malfoys. So Dobby told him Harry taught the Dumbledore's army various different magical charms, including the Patronus charm, Expecto Patronum, the disarming spell, Expelliarmus, and various others, until they were discovered. They had chosen the Room of Requirement as a spot, which was told to Harry by Dobby. Dobby was a house elf, and Harry had freed him during his second year of schooling in the Chamber of Secrets by giving him a sock. Previously, he was a servant of the Malfoys. So, Dobby told him to the Room of Requirement, which was invisible to the others and it was only visible to the ones who were using it. So, they took refuge over there until when Umbridge found it and she was punishing all the members of Dumbledore's army. Harry was dragged to Dumbledore's office, and Dumbledore was found guilty after he admitted that he had formed the army to, destroy and bring down the ministry. Harry keeps on getting visions of dark corridors until one day, during his History of Magic OWL or Ordinary Wizarding Level exam, Harry falls asleep and gets a nightmare in which his godfather, Sirius Black, is being tortured by Lord Voldemort. Harry gets up and tells all the members of Dumbledore's army to ride the Tesserals and come to the Ministry of Magic. He knows how to get in by the visitors' entrance because he had done it before with Arthur Weasley, who is Ron's father. In the ministry, they go to a place called the Department of Mysteries, and inside the Department of Mysteries, there is a place called the Prophecy Hall. In the Prophecy Hall, there are many small circular spheres known as prophecies. Harry goes to row number 96 or 97. I don't know that. I want you to find out and comment below, and gets a prophecy which says the Dark Lord and Harry Potter. Upon touching it, various Death Eaters appear and they demand for the prophecy, which is why a battle of the Department of Mysteries ensues. In the battle, Sirius Black dies, Harry's godfather. He is killed by Bellatrix Lestrange. And I think there is nothing good about Bellatrix Lestrange other than how she looks and her name, because I think the last 4 letters of her first name, Trix, are a wordplay on the name of the chocolate Twix, Bellatrix. So, in the light of events concerning Death Eaters and Voldemort breaking into the Ministry, the Minister of Magic along with the other Ministry employees have become more aware about the current situation and how Voldemort is terrorizing the wizarding world. So, yeah, that's it. And you must have noticed that I did not give such a long summary of the Order of the Phoenix. It was short compared to the other books, but no. That's just because I've just given some summary key points in this video, and I'll be making a more detailed video next week about all the books. One separate video for one book. So, I hope it's clear. This book right here is the 6th installment of the series, and the second last one, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Well, this book, I just don't think it's that nice compared to the other books because, as always, spoiler alert, someone dies. And also, one of the main villains in the series kills him. And spoiler number 2, it's not Voldemort, nor is it Bellatrix. So in this book, the Death Eaters and Voldemort have risen again and they're just killing people mercilessly. And yeah, so Voldemort has killed and captured Amelia Bones, who was a Ministry of Magic lawyer, and has also killed a Muggle family and also destroyed the Brockley Bridge and killed the people who were on the bridge. Dementors were coming from all over the place and were sucking souls out of Muggles, which is very sad. Poor Muggles, Arthur Weasley thought. Speaking of Arthur Weasley, he got promoted from the head of Muggle artifacts to a person who investigates dark artifacts. So he had to go on duty at Diagon Alley to check whether people were not selling dark artifacts anytime. Here in this book, they get a new defense against the dark arts teacher. Again! And also a new potions master. The old potion master was Severus Snape. And the new potion master is Professor Horace Slughorn. Now, you might be thinking, where did Snape go? Snape is the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and I don't think he was a good enough teacher. Who was your most favorite and least favorite Hogwarts professor? Please comment down below. Harry and Ron did not know they'll be taking potions that year because they thought Snape was going to be the potions master. And also they did not buy their potion supplies. So when they came to class, Horace Slughorn gave them copies of advanced potion making. Harry got a vandalized copy. Ron got a new one. However, the copy which Harry got was full of notes scribbled by an anonymous user called the Half-Blood Prince. Those notes were helpful to Harry because with the help of those notes, he could brew a perfect potion which let him win a reward in Slughorn's class. The reward was a small bottle of Felis Felicis or liquid luck. Over the course of the year, they noticed that Draco Malfoy was up to something and that his father Lucius Malfoy had been captured and taken to Azkaban. His mother Narcissa Malfoy was worrying because Voldemort had set Draco a task, an impossible task. The headmaster Dumbledore's hand is black and Harry does not know why. It was burnt, but was it by fire or was it by a curse? We don't know. Harry has become captain of the Quidditch team. Over the course of the book, Katie Bell, a chaser on the Quidditch team, gets cursed by a necklace and Ron Weasley, his friend, gets poisoned. Who has done this? Headmaster Dumbledore, or his full name, Albus Percival Wilfrid Brian Dumbledore, is now giving Harry special classes to protect himself from Lord Voldemort's dark forces. Harry goes to his office whenever he calls him and also goes through the Pensieve to see past memories to learn more about Voldemort and his life. Harry and Dumbledore over the course of time learned that Lord Voldemort wanted to be immortal and that he was seeking so in some dark and dangerous way. He created Horcruxes. 7 were there, but 6 were only known to be created. And Dumbledore and Harry needed to destroy the Horcruxes in order to kill Lord Voldemort, because a Horcrux is an object in which a person puts their soul inside. So one day, Harry and Dumbledore went to a cave which is inside a rock to find the Horcrux. Only that they didn't find the Horcrux, they found a copy of the Horcrux. However, finding the copy came at a terrible price, including sacrificing blood and sailing through a lake full of inferi. That also meant that Dumbledore needed to drink a green-colored poison that made him severely weak. Harry and Dumbledore apparated back to Hogwarts, to the astronomy tower particularly, where Draco Malfoy was waiting for them and the dark mark was conjured over the castle. Who must have done it? Who was dead? Also, Draco Malfoy told Dumbledore that he wanted to kill him, but couldn't do it at once, so Professor Severus Snape, accompanied by several Death Eaters, killed Dumbledore. That was sad. They later have a conversation in the hospital ring regarding what to do with Dumbledore's body. Harry suggests that they hold a funeral and let the students go after the funeral. So you must be wondering who the old potions book belonged to. It belonged to none other than Severus Tobias Snape, also known as the Half-Blood Prince. And last but not least, we have the Deathly Hallows. So in the Deathly Hallows, Harry is escorted by several people from the Ministry who are disguised as Harry, and then they go to the Burrow. At the Burrow, they attend Fleur and Bill's wedding and also Harry Potter's birthday. Harry and Ron and Hermione receive a will from Albus Dumbledore. Ron gets a Deluminator or a Put-Outer. Hermione gets a book. Harry gets a golden snitch. After the wedding, Harry, Ron and Hermione find themselves at a cafe because they apparated there. Kingsley Shacklebolt, an Auror at the Ministry, had sent a Patronus which said that the Death Eaters were coming at the Ministry. At the cafe, they fight more Death Eaters and go back to Grimmauld Place, where they meet Kreacher, the house elf over there. Kreacher the house elf tells them about the fake locket and that it belonged to Regulus Black, Sirius's brother. He had joined the Death Eaters but had immediately deserted them, and also had created a fake Horcrux to fool Voldemort and take the old Horcrux and try to destroy it. After that, they were tailing the ministry people and listening to their conversations in order to find out the locket. Turns out the locket was in possession of Dolores Jane Umbridge, who, as you very well remember, was a professor at Hogwarts during Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So they go to the ministry disguised as several ministry people and attempt to take the locket from her. The attempt was successful, though they left some marks over there which the other ministry people might think as suspicious. Then they returned to the Forest of Dean. They were not supposed to go there. They were supposed to go to Grimmauld Place, but a Death Eater called Yaxley caught hold of Hermione's robes, and thus he saw Grimmauld Place, which was not supposed to be seen. So Harry, Ron and Hermione thought it was dangerous to be over there, so they came to the forest, and in the forest they tried every single possible mean of trying to destroy the locket. Then they go to another place and they overhear some conversation regarding Neville Longbottom, Luna Lovegood and Ginny Weasley attempting to steal the sword of Godric Gryffindor in order to destroy some dangerous people and artifacts. However, Professor Snape gave them detention to work in the Forbidden Forest. Now, they overheard the conversation and Ron got into a fight with Hermione and Ron left them. So Harry and Hermione went to Godric's Hollow, which was Harry's parents' home, and Bathilda Bagshot, the magical historian's home. And over there, they came face to face with Voldemort's snake, Nagini, and she attempted to kill them because they thought that the sword of Godric Gryffindor was over there, but it wasn't there. So they returned to another forest for camping. And while at Godric's Hollow, Hermione accidentally broke Harry's wand. So in the forest, while Harry was not able to sleep and was guarding the tent, he saw a Patronus. It was in form of a doe. So the doe told Harry to follow her. Harry followed the doe Patronus to a lake. And in the lake, there was a shiny thing. The shiny thing was the sword of Godric Gryffindor. So Harry jumped into the lake, got the sword, and met Ron immediately after coming out of the lake. He was kind of surprised. Ron told that he had left them and was finding for them, and now he found them because of the illuminator which had said his name in Hermione's voice. So Harry and Ron together destroyed the locket, and Ron and Harry explained it together to Hermione while in the tent. So after that, Hermione had come across a weird symbol in her book which Dumbledore had left her in the will. It looked like a weird eye thingy, so they went to Luna Lovegood's house because her father, Xenophilius Lovegood, was seen sporting the logo at the Weasley's wedding, Bill and Flair's wedding. They asked him and he told that that was the sign of the Deathly Hallows. The circle was a recursion stone, the lion was the Elder Wand, and the triangle was the cloak of invisibility. Ron and Harry thought the Deathly Hallows were real, whereas Hermione thought that the Deathly Hallows were just some rubbish made by Xenophilius Lovegood. While at the Lovegoods, Harry and Hermione came face to face with their heaters. Ron had to hide beneath all the rubble because he was said to be suffering from a magical disease which was very contagious. So they went camping again and they heard a magical network called Potterwatch. While listening to Potterwatch, Harry accidentally said Voldemort's name when you are not supposed to say it because a curse had been inflicted on the name, and whoever said the name would be punished by, an unforgivable curse like Imperior, Crucior, or Avada Kedavra. So Death Eaters like Scabior and Greyback came and they consulted a list of Muggle bonds. Harry, Ron and Hermione were experts at lying and they told them that they were not on the list by creating some fake identity, but anyways, they were taken back to Malfoy Manor, which is the Malfoy's home. So over there, Bellatrix Lestrange tortured Hermione because she was Muggle born, and Harry and Ron were just there imprisoned in the cellar. But however, Harry had used a shard of the mirror which Sirius Black had given to him in the Order of the Phoenix and saw blue eye there, which was Dumbledore's brother Aberforth Dumbledore's eye. Immediately, after hearing Harry shout, "Help, we are in the cellar of Malfoy Manor," he sent Dobby, and Dobby rescued all of them and took them to Shell Cottage. In Shell Cottage, they met a new goblin called Griphook, And with Griphook, they devised a plan to go to Bellatrix Lestrange's vault and steal the cup of Helga Hufflepuff from there. The plan was that they will use Polyjuice potion, and Hermione would take the potion and be Bellatrix because she had found a hair of Bellatrix. So she'll be Bellatrix, Ron will be an unknown entity, and Harry would be under the invisibility cloak with Griphook with them. The plan succeeded, but the only thing was that they were seen as Harry, Ron and Hermione and not Bellatrix, some Transylvanian Romanian guy, and Harry under the invisibility cloak and Griphook. And they came back to a lake with a dragon, because they couldn't get out of Gringotts bank anyway other than taking a dragon which was chained over there and flying it out of the bank. So they did that. And after that, Harry felt his scar throb and realized that he must get to a place to get one more Horcrux, which was a diadem of Ravenclaw. He knew that it was in Hogwarts, so they apparated to Hogsmeade and went to the Hogshead pub. There, they met Aberforth Dumbledore, who told them about the history of the Dumbledore family. Harry felt sorry for the Dumbledores. Then, a passage opened behind Aberforth, and Neville Longbottom came from there. He told them that this was a passage that led to the Room of Requirement in Hogwarts, and that they should come by this passage to go to the Room of Requirement, as all the Dumbledore's army people were hiding in there. They went to Hogwarts. Also, while after going to the Room of Requirement, Luna took Harry to the Ravenclaw common room to show him how the diadem of Ravenclaw looked, because Harry was looking for it. After seeing what the diadem looked like, Harry came in contact with two Death Eaters who were teaching there, Amycus and Alecto Carrow, and they wanted to kill Harry, and Voldemort told them to be stationed at Ravenclaw Tower. Minerva McGonagall came there in rush of Harry's aid, and yes, they got out. McGonagall told all the teachers to assemble and devise a plan in order to bring down Voldemort and the rest of the Death Eaters. They all came up with a plan. Harry went to get the diadem and he got it, but he couldn't find Ron and Hermione. Turns out Ron and Hermione had gone down to the Chamber of Secrets, which was mentioned in the second book, and had gone to destroy Hufflepuff's cup. When they came back near the Room of Requirement, Harry realized that it opened and he got the diadem. But the only thing was that Draco Malfoy, Vincent Crabbe and Gregory Goyle were behind them. Instantaneously, Crabbe summoned the Fendi Fire, which was a cursed fire, and also because of the Fendi Fire, the whole room burned, and also Crabbe burned. He died. So sad. So, and also the diadem burned, which means the Horcrux inside it was destroyed. Now only two more Horcruxes to go. One of them was destroyed by Neville Longbottom. It was Nagini, and he used the sword of Godric Gryffindor to behead it. And also the last Horcrux was Harry Potter. And the Horcrux inside Harry was destroyed when he went to Voldemort and sacrificed himself, but he did not die. He went to the afterlife and he got some kind of talk from Dumbledore. Means Dumbledore told him about his family, the Deathly Hallows, and how he didn't die because Voldemort was trying to kill him. And he came back to life, and he once again took the lead, the chance, and killed Voldemort once and for all with Priori Incarnatium. Voldemort used Avada Kedavra, Harry used Expelliarmus. The curse rebounded on Voldemort and he perished. So that's it. And after that, 19 years later, the story continues. Harry Potter and Ginny Weasley are happily married. They have 3 children, Albus Severus Potter, James Sirius Potter, and Lily Luna Potter. Those 3 are starting their year at Hogwarts. Also, the family is very happy, and Albus Severus Potter is kind of like scared of going into Slytherin, but Harry reassures him that it would not be an issue if he goes to Slytherin. So that's it. That's how the series ends. It was a really nice experience sharing with you my opinion about the Harry Potter series. And if you are a very big fan of Harry Potter, be sure to comment down below. Also, happy Harry Potter Day everyone. Bye.